What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and welcome to Mass Effect. And it is finally time for me to get going on making my remastered Let's Play of this trilogy. This trilogy is really special to me. It's actually my favorite story trilogy of all time. The way these three games fit together, the art style, music direction, the choices, the impact of said choices, it's all beautiful. This is very close to being the perfect RPG trilogy. No game in particular in this series is my favorite RPG of all time. Anybody who watches my channel knows that that would be Dragon Age Origins, but this is still fantastic, and as a trilogy, as a whole franchise, I do think this is the best franchise in RPG history, because every single game is very high quality, and I really just wasn't happy with the outcome of my first Let's Play series for this game. I had mired with audio issues, volume issues. I was pretty new to making Let's Plays when I first tried this, but that is not the case anymore, so now I hope I can finally do this some justice. Let's get going and create our Shepard here.
Welcome to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested.
Alrighty, man, the aesthetic of this is great. We are, of course, playing the Legendary Edition, so we get remastered graphics and more continuity between systems. Very, very worth it in my opinion. We will, of course, enter a custom ID.
Please log in to access your profile.
Yeah, I adore this series. I'll probably give this the same treatment that I gave Dragon Age Origins to, reading the codexes and all that kind of stuff. And I think I balanced the audio correctly. Of course, first episode in the series, so if there is any issues, it will be immediately fixed for next time, but I think I got a good general balance of this. So, we will be playing a Paragon, but it's not necessarily strictly a Paragon. One thing about these games is the dialogue options you get to pick get locked off by the morality choices you've chosen so far, at least for the first two games. But this won't be pure Paragon. There will be situations where I'll take Renegade options, but in general it will be Paragon, at least for this first game. So we will go with Spacer. Both of your parents were in the Alliance military. Your childhood was spent on ships and stations as they transferred from posting to posting, never staying in one location for more than a few years. Following in your parents' footsteps, you enlisted at the age of 18.
Confirm psychological profile.
And out of all of this, we have a couple things. So we have Sole Survivor. This is just your psychological background for your Shepard. During your service, a mission you were on went horribly wrong. Trapped in an extreme survival situation, you had to overcome physical torments and psychological stresses that would have broken most people. You survived while all those around you fell, and now you alone are left to tell the tale. Then we have War Hero. Early in your military career, you found yourself facing an overwhelming enemy force. You risked your own life to save your fellow soldiers and defeat the enemy despite the impossible odds. Your bravery and heroism have earned you medals and recognition from the Alliance fleet. And then we have Ruthless. Throughout your military career, you have held fast to one basic rule: get the job done. You've been called cold, calculating, and brutal. Your reputation for ruthless efficiency makes your fellow soldiers wary of you. But when failure is not an option, the military always goes to you first. And one cool thing about these backgrounds is if you know anything about this trilogy, every single one of these makes you a very good option for the oncoming threat that we currently know nothing about. Of course, for me, I'm going to go with War Hero, but if you were going to go for a renegade, kind of, not bad guy, but anti-hero, you'd go Ruthless. I mean, the proof is in the pudding there, and this is kind of a middle ground, but we're going to go War Hero.
Confirm military specialization.
And now we have our classes. So we got your warrior here, which is soldier. Soldiers are combat specialists, ideal for the front lines of a firefight. Soldiers have improved health, can specialize in the use of all weapon types, start with the ability to wear medium armor, and can train in the use of heavy armor. Then you have engineers, which are tech specialists. It's a little bit like rogue. In a traditional RPG sense, this would be a rogue. So engineers are tech specialists. Using the holographic Omnitool, they can decrypt security systems, repair or modify technical equipment, disrupt enemy weapons or shields, and heal their squad. Engineers can only wear light armor, and they specialize in pistols. Now we have Adept, which is your mage. So Adepts are biotic specialists. Through upgradable implants, they can use biotic powers to lift or throw objects, shield the squad, and disable or destroy enemies. Adepts can only wear light armor, and they specialize in pistols. So this is your mage. You can be a buffer or a CC crowd controller. Engineer is your rogue, you know, you got lockpicking, you got sabotage, things like that. And soldier is your straight up warrior. And then these classes are a mix of each one. So infiltrators combine combat and tech abilities to specialize in killing or disabling enemies at long range. Infiltrators are trained to use Omni tools, focusing on decryption and defensive abilities rather than healing. They can specialize in pistols or sniper rifles and wear medium armor. So you have the middle ground medium armor, and this is your sniper class. You still have a lot of the benefits of soldier, but you can mix in some engineer there too. You'll be able to debuff people. I think this has the ability to, focus in on decryption, so you can lockpick it too. So if you don't want to be this squishy rogue, you want some warrior, some firepower, but you also still want to open boxes, Infiltrator is the one for you. Sentinel, of course, is the mix of mage and rogue, so Sentinels combine biotic and tech abilities. Typically, they use biotic abilities and advanced healing skills to defend allies, though they can also disrupt opponents with biotics or tech attacks. They are more efficient at tech and biotics than other classes, but at the expense of combat. Sentinels can only wear light armor and receive no specialized weapon training. So you're not very good at any weapons, but you can do it all. You can CC, you can buff, you can lockpick, but you're not that good firepower-wise. And Vanguard is the ultimate aggressive mage. If you actually have a really fun Vanguard build for Mass Effect 3 that I'll probably use when we get there. But Vanguards are biotic warriors. They combine biotics and weapons to take down opponents, and they're especially deadly at short range. They specialize in pistols and shotguns and wear medium armor. And just from the description there, you can see what you're supposed to do here is you get up in their face with your biotic abilities and shred them up with a shotgun. What we are going to do, at least for Mass Effect 1, is we are going to go with Soldier. I'm going to pick that basic standoff warrior. I think it fits what we're going to try and do here with Shepard quite nicely. And then because we have beat this game a bunch of times, got all the achievements, we get to pick a special ability that we can have for our class that we wouldn't ordinarily get. So you have Lift, Throw, and Warp, Singularity, Barrier, and Stasis. Those are your Vanguard abilities. You have Dampen, Hacking, Electronics, and Decryption, and Medicine, which are your rogue abilities. And I think the one that we want is Decryption. This is the lockpicking, because basically, when the game starts, you're only going to really have one character that can lockpick unless you're playing the rogue class, which is Caden Alenko. And he just always ends up being my box opener, and that's all I ever use him for, and then I keep him there until I can kick him out for another one that can open my boxes. So if I take Decryption, it'll actually be kind of nice to be able to open our own boxes. It'll give us more freedom in our party selection. We'll go Decryption.
Facial identification.
We will stick with that iconic classic Shepard look.
Profile reconstruction complete.
So we are a Spacer War Hero, Soldier, and we have the special talent of Decryption, so we can open our own boxes, which is nice. It's just nice not to rely on NPCs for your stuff. Once you confirm your character is complete, you will be unable to change settings. We'll confirm that.
Identification confirmed.
Of course, we will be on the maximum combat difficulty for Insanity. We're not going to do auto level ups. I obviously want to do all of that myself. Legendary mode just fixes some XP issues. Level range will be used instead of the new 1 to 30 level range. So we want 1 to 30 because in the original level range, if you killed enemies in the Mako, you wouldn't get as much XP. You had to hop out when they were one shot and gun them down with a pistol or something. I don't want to deal with that, so we're going to do this. Squad power usage, which is just defensive. They're basically going to do whatever they need to do to stay alive, and I'll be the one to work with their offensive abilities, which is how I want it to be. I want control. And then I think I will put on subtitles just for you guys, but I usually hate playing with subtitles on. It distracts me, but for the sake of the Let's Play, I think we'll have subtitles on. Now it's time to hop in.
Well, what about Shepard? He's a spacer, lived aboard starships most of his life.
Military service runs in the family. Both his parents were in the Navy.
He proved himself during the Blitz. Held off enemy forces on the ground until reinforcements arrived.
He's the only reason Elysium is still standing.
We can't question his courage.
Humanity needs a hero, and Shepard's the best we've got.
I'll make the call.
And those background decisions we made about origin, that absolutely plays an effect. In the year 2148, explorers on Mars discovered the remains of an ancient spacefaring civilization. In the decades that followed, these mysterious artifacts revealed startling new technologies, enabling travel to the furthest stars. The basis for this incredible technology was a force that controlled the very fabric of space and time. They called it the biggest discovery in human history, and then they call it Mass Effect. The intro titles always go really fast there. I'd recommend pausing if you'd like to read. And here's the beautiful thing we have ourselves. The Normandy SR1.
Transmission sequence.
Commander?
It's like the most iconic ship in sci-fi as far as I'm concerned. Maybe the Enterprise from Star Trek might contest it a little, but it's the Normandy for me.
Calculating transit mass and destination.
I love the visual art style of this game, all the technology and that orange kind of tech neon glow that's going on with all that.
Secure for transit.
Omni technology is very cool. And I'll read all about that in the codexes.
Board is green. Approach run has begun.
And this is Golden Age BioWare, where the intros were all immaculate. They always make very good intros to their games.
Hitting the relay in 3, 2, 1.
And that's the Mass Effect technology that enabled us to become a spacefaring people.
Check. Navigation. Check. Internal emissions sync engaged. All systems online. Drift. Just under 1500K.
1500 is good. Your captain will be pleased.
I hate that guy.
Nihlus gave you a compliment. So you hate him.
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead. So that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
And here we have a classic dialogue wheel in BioWare RPG fashion. Now, both those perspectives are actually pretty true there. We'll get to know more about Kaidan Alenko and Joker as we go on, but everybody in this game is a really good character. Every single part of the roster is really good. They have their own personalities and motivations that stay consistent throughout the franchise too, and they'll react to your decisions in accurate ways to their motivations and backgrounds. It's very cool. I'm going to go ahead and agree here about the official story. It doesn't really make sense. Spectres are basically spec ops ninjas. They wouldn't just come here to see how the bird was flying.
They don't send Spectres on shakedown runs.
So there's more going on here than the captain's letting on.
Joker, status report.
Just cleared the mass relay, Captain. Stealth systems engaged. Everything looks solid.
Good. Find a comm buoy and link us into the network. I want mission reports relayed back to Alliance Brass before we reach Eden Prime.
Aye, aye, Captain. Better brace yourself, sir. I think Nihlus is headed your way.
He's already here, Lieutenant. Tell Commander Shepard to meet me in the comm room for a debrief.
Hope you went on speaker, Joker.
You get that, Commander?
I sure did.
I'm on my way.
Is it me or does the Captain always sound a little pissed off?
Only when he's talking to you, Joker.
And there you see we got some Paragon points for our codex. Sorry, for our dialogue choices that we picked there.
The Captain's waiting for you in the comm room, Commander.
You probably don't want to keep the Captain waiting, Commander.
I think you're probably right, especially after Joker's little comment right there.
I just saw him. He marched by like he was on a mission.
He's a Spectre. They're always on a mission.
And we're getting dragged, right along with him.
Relax, Pressly. You're gonna give yourself an ulcer.
So first things first, let's meet some of the Normandy crew, I think.
Congratulations, Commander. Looks like we had a smooth run. You heading down to see the captain?
Let's see if we can dig into that conversation we heard there a little.
Sounds like you don't trust our Turian guest.
Sorry, Commander. Just having a chat with Adams down at engineering. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. But you have to admit, something's odd about this mission. The whole crew feels it.
You think the Alliance brass is holding out on us?
If all we're supposed to do is test out the stealth system, why is Captain Anderson in charge? And then there's Nihlus. Spectres are elite operatives, top covert agents. Why send a Spectre, a Turian Spectre, on a shakedown run? It doesn't add up.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something, Pressly.
What do you know about the stealth systems?
I just know it masks our location from scans and sensors. Cutting-edge technology. The Normandy's the only ship with this prototype drive. But why are we fully staffed? A skeleton crew would be cheaper, less chance of security leaks too. Plus there's Nihlus. It's pretty obvious this shakedown run is just a cover.
For what?
Damned if I know, Commander. We're out here on false pretenses. I'm not a fan of being left in the dark.
Neither am I, my friend, and it really is worth digging into all these dialogue options there, like how we learned about these stealth systems for the Normandy. They did an amazing job of world building and explaining all the technology. There's entire books worth of codex in this game that explain the technology, the situation in the galaxy, all the different races and cultures. It is so worth diving into, and it's honestly where this game shines, and I will be spending a lot of time in this first game diving into all that to kind of set the scene, because the more you know, the more you can be invested. And I know a lot of people don't like to sit there and read it themselves, so I'll do it for you. Let's sit back, get some snacks, and enjoy.
Do you have a problem with the captain?
No, sir. But I can't figure out what he's doing here. Captain Anderson is one of the most decorated Special Forces officers in the service. If he melted down all his medals, he could make a life-size statue of himself.
I can't imagine him having that kind of vanity.
Like that on a do-nothing mission. He's treating this shakedown run too seriously. Something big is going on.
You don't trust Nihlus?
I don't like Turians in general. It runs in my family. My grandfather fought in the First Contact War. Lost a lot of friends when the Turians hit us.
So the First Contact War is actually something we'll get into a little later in the game, but basically what happened there is when humans first found Mass Effect technology after their discovery on Mars, they were treated as hostile when they came into the galaxy proper, and the first contact we had with an alien species was the Turians, which is what Nihlus there is, and they clapped us basically. We were the new kids on the block, we were not ready for that smoke, and the Turians actually clapped us until the Council eventually stepped in. But we'll get way more on that later.
Nihlus is no ordinary Turian.
You've got that right, Commander. We're an Alliance vessel, human military, but Nihlus doesn't answer to the captain like the rest of us. Spectres operate outside the normal chain of command, and they don't come along just to observe shakedown runs. Nihlus looks like he's expecting some heavy action. I don't like it.
I think you got your finger on the pulse a little, Pressly. I'll look into it.
I'll see if I can get some answers when I see him.
Good luck, Commander.
Yeah, it'd certainly be something I would be interested in taking a look at, right? I mean, we're on the ship too, so our asses are also on the line. Now, what we will do here is if you see charm options in conversations will be grayed out if you do not have a high enough skill rank. New skill ranks will unlock when you become a Spectre and as you earn Paragon points. And as far as I'm aware, you see there, yeah, it does. It decreases the cost of items in stores. But it also gives us special unique outcomes to certain situations, and some of them are really cool. So immediately what we'll do is we'll drop 3 points right into charm. That's what we'll do there. We'll keep our helmet toggled off, I think, for the most part. It does auto-lock those. There's no confirm button, so be careful when you click. I think it confirms them as soon as you back out of the menu.
Crazy. The captain's in charge here. He wouldn't take orders from a Spectre.
Not his choice, Doc. Spectres don't answer to anyone. They can do whatever they want. Kill anyone who gets in their way.
Oh, you watch too many spy vids, Jenkins.
Let's see what we can talk to these two about.
What do you think, Commander? We won't be staying on Eden Prime too long, will we? I'm itching for some real action.
I sincerely hope you're kidding, Corporal. Your real action usually ends with me patching up crew members in the infirmary.
You need to calm down, Corporal. A good soldier stays cool, even under fire.
Sorry, Commander, but this waiting's killing me. I've never been on a mission like this before, not one with a Spectre on board.
Yeah, the eager rookie. What do you know about Nihlus?
What can you tell me about Nihlus?
Turians are generally well respected by the other species. Their fleet has more patrols protecting Citadel space than any other. They don't always get on well with us, though. Some people find them too rigid. Others still blame them for the First Contact War. As for Nihlus, I haven't said more than 2 words to him. He usually only speaks to the captain.
I heard Nihlus once took down an entire enemy platoon all by himself. Man, I can't believe I'm on a mission with an actual Spectre.
Yeah, Nihlus is a savage, and the Turians in general are actually very good at warfare. We'll get more on different species as we progress through this game, but Turians are the badasses, basically. They are I guess the closest human civilization comparison would probably be the Spartans or samurai. They're a very honor-based warrior culture, which is why they have the most ships patrol, and most Turians you meet will be strict and very by the book, right, above board. It is hard to find a corrupt Turian, although of course they do exist. There's always exceptions.
What do you know about the Spectres?
Only what I've heard. Spectre agents work directly for the Citadel Council. They usually work alone or in small groups. Spectres don't have any official power, though. Basically, they're a shadow organization with a mandate to preserve and protect galactic stability.
Protect it at any cost. Don't forget that part. Spectres operate above the law.
Why don't we have any of our own people in there?
Spectres usually come from the Council races, like the Turians. We've been trying to get a human accepted into their ranks for years now. So far, it hasn't happened.
Hey, Commander, you'd make a good Spectre. You're a war hero, right? Held off an entire enemy fleet during the Blitz single-handed? That's the kind of talent the Spectres are looking for.
This is all just wild speculation. The Spectres aren't interested in recruiting humans, no matter how capable.
Some subtle foreshadowing there, and that's actually our first taste of galactic politics. You see how Spectres are only allowed to come from the Council races, and humanity is in fact not on the Council yet. That's our first taste of intergalactic politics, and even the Council's opinion of humanity in general right there, from Dr. Chakwas saying they're not even interested in recruiting humans, even if we're extremely capable. Kinda seems like they might have their opinions still on us after the First Contact War too, huh?
How do you control agents with unlimited power?
I suppose the Council could revoke the Spectre status of an agent who got out of hand. At that point, Citadel Security Services would take over.
Those C-Sec grunts wouldn't stand a chance. The Spectres were 20 ordinary soldiers. The Spectres police themselves. An agent goes rogue, they send another agent to take him down. That's Spectre justice.
The Corporal's confusing romantic legends with reality, Commander.
Spectre justice. Let's see if we can find out anything about where we're going.
You're from Eden Prime, aren't you, Jenkins? What's it like?
It's very peaceful, Commander. They've been real careful with development, so you don't have any city noise or pollution. My parents lived on the outskirts of the colony. At night, I used to climb this big hill and stare across the fields back at the lights from the main settlement. It was gorgeous. But when I got older, I realized it was a little too calm and quiet for me. That's why I joined the Alliance. Even Paradise gets boring after a while.
Any idea why Eden Prime was chosen as our destination?
Not really sure, Commander. Eden Prime's one of our most stable colonies. Good place to take the Normandy for a shakedown run, I guess. No real danger there. There's gotta be something else going on. We've got a Spectre on board. That's why I'm so wound up. I can't wait for the real mission to start.
When you consider that Spectres are basically 007, and Captain Anderson, like Pressly said, and Joker has hinted at too, is basically one of the most decorated human admirals ever. To send them here on just a warm-up run for a ship doesn't quite add up. Wouldn't add up if just one of them were here. Both of them here? Certainly not.
Just treat this like every other assignment you've had and everything will work out.
Easy for you to say. You proved yourself in the Blitz. Everybody knows what you can do. This is my big chance. I need to show the brass what I can do.
You got a long career to prove what you can do, kid. Treat it like every other thing, right? That's what training's for. Go through the motions. Not to make exceptions.
You're young, Corporal. You have a long career ahead of you. Don't do something stupid to mess it up.
Don't worry, sir. I'm not gonna screw this up.
He's a very eager guy.
The captain's waiting for me.
Goodbye, Commander.
I'll let you guys keep at it. Here's Nihlus.
Commander Shepard, I was hoping you'd get here first. It will give us a chance to talk.
Turians are very cool too. I love the visual design and their sound design. They have this effect on their voices, which sounds very cool. They're like almost bird-like too, which you'll see a lot in the game. Obviously, with different species have different words for humans, Turians, Asari, things like that. So you'll see that people bring up Turians being birds quite a lot. They have their own conceptions on other species too.
What about?
I'm interested in this world we're going to, Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful.
They say it's a paradise.
Yes, a paradise. Serene, tranquil, safe. Eden Prime has become something of a symbol for your people, hasn't it? Proof that humanity can not only establish colonies across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it really?
There's some undertones there.
Do you know something?
Your people are still newcomers, Shepard. The galaxy can be a very dangerous place. Is the Alliance truly ready for this?
Love his armor design too.
I think it's about time we told the commander what's really going on.
This mission is far more than a simple shakedown run.
I figured there was something you weren't telling us.
We're making a covert pickup on Eden Prime. That's why we needed the stealth systems operational.
There must be a reason you didn't tell me about this, sir.
This comes down from the top, Commander. Information strictly on a need-to-know basis. A research team on Eden Prime unearthed some kind of beacon during an excavation. It was Prothean.
I thought the Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago.
Their legacy still remains. The mass relays, the Citadel, our ship drives. It's all based on Prothean technology.
This is big, Shepard. The last time humanity made a discovery like this, it jumped our technology forward 200 years. But Eden Prime doesn't have the facilities to handle something like this. We need to bring the beacon back to the Citadel for proper study.
Obviously, this goes beyond mere human interests, Commander. This discovery could affect every species in Council space.
So the 50,000-year cycle is going to become really important as we progress through the game. And the Protheans, of course, those are the ones who came before. They're the Forerunners, as if you've played Halo. They're the civilization that came before, and discovering Prothean technology is the reason why pretty much every species in the galaxy has progressed to spacefaring species, including humanity with our discovery on Mars. So it's interesting to learn about Protheans here so early. We'll get much more on them as we progress, obviously.
Why didn't we keep the beacon for ourselves?
You humans don't have the best reputation. Some species see you as selfish, too unpredictable, too independent, even dangerous.
Sharing that beacon will improve relations with the Council. Plus, we need their scientific expertise. They know more about the Protheans than we do.
The beacon's not the only reason I'm here, Shepard.
Nihlus wants to see you in action, Commander. He's here to evaluate you.
There's something to be said there about the rest of the species' views on humanity, too. Of course, we have a different lifespan to a lot of the different species in the galaxy, so like you said, a lot of them see us as brash, bullheaded, stubborn. We rush things because we don't live as long as everybody else, so they wouldn't necessarily understand that, right? Because they have 200, 300, 400 years to do things. We got 80, so we got to get shit done. It's cool to see how well the dialogue here is written and the different species' opinions of other species too. It all comes together quite nicely. I love the dialogue and writing quality in this trilogy. It's one of the things that really stands out for me and why I love it so much.
Guess that explains why I bump into him every time I turn around.
The Alliance has been pushing for this for a long time. Humanity wants a larger role in shaping interstellar policy. We want more say with the Citadel Council. The Spectres represent the Council's power and authority. If they accept a human into their ranks, it shows how far the Alliance has come.
You held off an enemy assault during the Blitz single-handed. You showed not only courage, but also incredible skill. That's why I put your name forward as a candidate for the Spectres.
Why would a Turian want a human in the Spectres?
Not all Turians resent humanity. Some of us see the potential of your species. We see what you have to offer to the rest of the galaxy, and to the Spectres. We are an elite group. It's rare to find an individual with the skills we seek. I don't care that you're human, Shepard. I only care that you can do the job.
And that is a very practical opinion that you would expect from a military species.
I assume this is good for the Alliance.
Very good.
Earth needs this, Shepard. We're counting on you.
I need to see your skills for myself, Commander. Eden Prime will be the first of several missions together.
You'll be in charge of the ground team. Secure the beacon and get it onto the ship ASAP. Nihlus will accompany you to observe the mission.
You can understand why it's very good for the Alliance, right? New kids on the block, only Council species are allowed to be on the Spectres, so it would be a huge jump up the ladder rungs for us if we can get a member of the Alliance on the Spectres. It gives us direct line to the Council and some more responsibility in the galaxy. It'll make them see us as more dependable, and it'll also shine a big, bright, shining light on humanity. Maybe get some of the other species to trust us more too. It's basically good for everything.
What do you know about the Protheans?
Just what they taught us in school. They were a technologically advanced species that ruled the galaxy 50,000 years ago. Then they vanished. Nobody really knows how or why, though I've heard plenty of theories. But everyone agrees galactic civilization wouldn't exist without them.
Their citadel is the very heart of galactic society, and without their mass relays, interstellar travel would be impossible. We all owe the Protheans a great debt.
I'd like to know more about Eden Prime before we touch down.
It's a peaceful farming world, but it represents something much bigger. Eden Prime is one of our oldest and most successful colonies. It proved we were ready to face the challenges of settling new worlds, to forge a place for humanity beyond Earth. It symbolizes humanity's growth and evolution as a spacefaring species. And after this, it will be known as the world where humans made a discovery of galactic importance.
And I love the ability to dive in and dig into conversational aspects like this and learn more about the world beyond just the codex. I love that it's here in the dialogue too. You can get little bits of interesting lore from the conversations and sometimes some really big things, and then you can clean up the rest in codex. I love that they put it here in the game too. I think too many games rely too much on codex, considering how many people will never actually read them. I love that they wrote it thoroughly enough to put it here inside the dialogue too. It's a great point of merit, I think, considering how other companies handle this.
Why is this beacon so important?
All advanced galactic civilization is based on Prothean technology, even yours.
If we hadn't discovered those Prothean ruins buried on Mars, we'd still be stuck on Earth. That was just a small data cache. Who knows what we can learn from this beacon? What if it's a weapons archive? We can't let it fall into the wrong hands.
And so there are still some problems in the galaxy. It's not a utopia. Let's find out what about the wrong hands.
Like who?
The Attican Traverse isn't the most stable sector of Citadel space. There are plenty of raiders and criminal groups active in the region. They might figure a Prothean beacon is worth the risk of attacking an Alliance ship. Plus, Eden Prime is right on the border of the Terminus systems.
So if you can imagine planet Earth and how small that is in comparison to the galaxy, and we have pirates and criminals and kidnappers and slavers on Earth. Now, branch that out into the breadth and width of an entire galaxy, and you can imagine you'd have whole pirate star systems that just take slaves and raid and steal and murder and kill, and we're right on the edge of one of those systems, and we'll get a little more about that here.
The Attican Traverse is under Citadel protection. If the Terminus systems attack, it's an act of war.
Technically, yes. But some of the species in the Terminus might be willing to start a war over this.
The last thing the Council wants is to get dragged into a major conflict with the Terminus systems. We have to keep this low-key.
And you can see why they'd be willing to start a war over it too, when you consider the whole galaxy's technology comes from Prothean beacons that we found and uncovered. If a pirate nation got a hold of this, well, they might be able to take control of the Citadel, the seat of galactic power, and that'd be a big, shining apple pie for any kind of scumbag, right?
Just give the word, Captain.
We should be getting close to Eden.
Captain, we got a problem.
What's wrong, Joker?
Transmission from Eden Prime, sir. You better see this.
Bring it up on screen.
Get down!
Love the sound of that Avenger assault rifle.
We are under attack, taking heavy casualties. I repeat, heavy casualties. We can't get evac. They came out of nowhere. We need...
That is our first look at something
Everything
very,
cuts out
very
after
cool.
that. No comm traffic at all. Just goes dead. There's nothing.
Reverse and hold at 38.5.
Love the subtle detail of his mandibles moving there.
17 minutes out, Captain. No other Alliance ships in the area.
Take us in, Joker, fast and quiet. This mission just got a lot more complicated.
A small strike team can move quickly, without drawing attention. It's our best chance to secure the beacon.
Grab your gear and meet us in the cargo hold. Tell Alenko and Jenkins to suit up, Commander. You're going in.
And we're taking Caden, Alenko, and Jenkins. We already met both those. Caden was the guy sitting up front by Joker, and Jenkins is the very eager rookie. Wanted to prove himself. I guess he's gonna get his chance.
Somebody was doing some serious digging here, Captain.
Your team's the muscle in this operation, Commander. Go in heavy and head straight for the dig site.
What about survivors, Captain?
Helping survivors is a secondary objective. The beacon's your top priority.
Approaching drop point 1.
Nihlus, you're coming with us?
I move faster on my own.
Nihlus will scout out ahead. He'll feed you status reports throughout the mission. Otherwise, I want radio silence.
It's interesting that Jenkins thinks that he needs to prove himself, considering we're on a whole ship full of soldiers, and Jenkins was chosen as the third man for this infiltration squad. He must be doing okay career-wise, right? I mean, they wouldn't send him if they didn't think that he could handle this, and we got Shepard and Caden Alenko here, and I'm a commander, and Caden's a lieutenant, so send Jenkins here with us. He must be doing pretty good in his career.
We've got his back, Captain.
The mission's yours now, Shepard. Good luck!
Aye, aye.
We are approaching drop point 2.
I love the design of the Normandy. And here we are on our first planet. You can see the pretty old bird fly away too. Alrighty, and welcome to Eden Prime.
Hostiles everywhere. Keep your guard up.
Alrighty, that is going to be the perfect spot to split this one on up for episode 2. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out those links in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Mass Effect. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.